You are Singapore's future. That was what Lee Kuan Yew's greatest fear for Singapore. Thank you for watching. Making video is time-consuming and hard work. Kindly click the subscribe button and click the like button so as to encourage us to make the videos you like. Thank you and happy watching. Lee Kuan Yew himself had become aware that a younger generation of Singaporeans no longer regarded his views with the same weight and reverence as old-age citizens who had rallied around him unwaveringly in the country's tumultuous journey to nationhood. He wanted to find a way to engage them. He called the Straits Times editor Han Phuc Quang one evening in late August 2008 and told him he was writing a book. He would like a part 3 to his 2-volume memoirs. He sought Han's views on an early draft of a few chapters he had written. Han and a group of colleagues suggested an alternative to memoir writing. Why not hold a series of interviews with him on key ideas that had influenced his leadership of Singapore? The reader should find his ideas though provoking, booking, and contentious even. The book will unearth the personal side of Lee as he speaks frankly about his family life. By bringing the controversial aspect of these ideas to the fore and by highlighting, at the same time, the man behind the politician. The book offers a unique inroad into Lee Kuan Yew's life and opinions. Finally, there's another more important reason to read this book. To understand Lee is to understand Singapore's past and present, and dare we conjure its future too.
We got here by the skin of our teeth, and now the problem is, how do we leave this place in safe hands? That's what it's about. No, for me, there are no more achievements. I'm not out to prove anything. I don't have to prove anything. I have lived my life to the fullest. What is it I want to do now? To try and secure the future for what has already been built and not to lose it. That's all. Whether it's going to be done by the PAP or any other person or any other party, that's irrelevant. We must keep a system that will enable this place to stand out and prosper and attract talent. And as long as we attract talent and we've got security and we keep an open system which treats everybody fairly and equally, we will succeed.
How to leave this place in safe hands. That is Mr. Lee Kuan Yew's top concern. At age 87, he's all too aware that younger Singaporeans are far more questioning than their parents and grandparents ever were about the ruling party's way of running Singapore. He wants to educate them on the hard truths about their country and why it needs an exceptional approach to governance. That is why over the course of a year, he sat down for some 32 hours of interviews at the Istana with a team from the Straits Times, opening himself up to be questioned and challenged in a way that he hoped would help him reach out to young critics. The evening exchanges ranged from the ever-sensitive one of race and religion to ministers' pay, the income gap, and his thoughts on issues that pique young people's interest.
What is your greatest fear for Singapore? Asked Han Phuc Quang. I think a leadership and a people that have forgotten, that have lost their bearings and do not understand the constraints that we face. Small base, highly, technically organized, very competent people, complete international confidence, and an ability to engage the big boys. You lose those, and you're down. And you can go down very rapidly. No system lasts forever, that's for sure. 10 years, I don't think it'll happen. 20 years, I can't say. 30 years, even more I cannot tell you. Will we always be able to get the most dedicated and the most capable, with integrity, to devote their lives to this? I hope so, but forever, I don't know. Lee Kuan Yew replied.
Two great events in my lifetime have shaped the contours of the present world. One was the rise and fall of fascism. The other is the rise and fall of communism. It was an inferior system that couldn't feed them, that couldn't give them the comforts of life, that was backward in every way, just good propaganda. They kept that up for a long time. The myth of a glorious China. I lived through that. I had to put up with it. I had to fight them because I didn't believe it. Now, what next? Frankly, nobody knows. A new global balance has to be found because there could be very different challenges and different problems. Internally, things couldn't be better. The GIC, for instance, Government Investment Corporation, already has plans. We believe these countries are going to grow and we are going to invest in the stock market. Definitely Malaysia. Perhaps when the market goes down further, we'll buy more. Because we think it's going to go up. Eventually, when the crisis in the Gulf is over. The other problem that we face is emigration. I raised it last year. 88 was the biggest one. We had a net loss of 2009. Why did they leave in that large numbers in 88? Because the economy went down, so they left. That means the moment we make slow growth, that's right. Since I'm going to have slow growth in Singapore, I might as well have slow growth in Australia. So many leave, right? But you see how many renounce? Very few renounce. So they have been keeping their Singapore citizenship. Because the Singapore woman is not so stupid. She knows that white men marry you freely, they also divorce you freely. Our graduates, women, are marrying mostly Caucasians. And I believe we cannot leave it as it is. We are going to lose a trained woman graduate, and we also lose the husband who's going to be a plus. So if they are highly trained, I say, give them the PR. After 2-3 years, they can adjust, they want to take citizenship, let them. Then the children will become citizens. You know, there are innate prejudices, and I do not pretend that I don't share those prejudices. I do. I mean, if one of my sons had come back and says, I've got a young lady whom I've met in America, and I said, my first question is, what color is she? Now, these are extremely difficult problems, but we got to face up to the problem and not dodge it. We have to desensitize questions of race, language, questions of culture, so that we can talk to each other in a calm, rational way. There's no use, it's futile kidding ourselves. These are important things, but at the end of the day, remember, if a thing is going to get better, if you leave it alone, then leave it. Maybe it'll get better. But if you know it's going to get worse, it's totally irresponsible to leave it. The recognition that there is the problem is the beginning of a solution. Another issue which was also very sensitive, and I give credit to Goh Chok Tong for having the gumption to tackle it, to reverse our population policy. Yes, people grumble, why are we changing policy? Because circumstances have changed, and a continuation of the policy will be criminal neglect. We need a government which is both bold and prudent. And I am dead serious when I said on the eve of National Day, get our ablest and our best into politics. One key requirement is let's avoid hypocrisy and let's do this thing honestly, approximate the market rate. Try and get the government on the cheap, you end up with a cheap government, and you'll be sorry for yourselves. What does the government have to do to keep up the enthusiasm? Because somebody else has started something new, and you've got to chase him. I think that sums up Singapore's position. That's the art of government. First job of a government is to equalize opportunities, right? Not equalize results. You equalize results, you're done for. You end up with what Deng Xiaoping calls the iron rice bowl. Nobody works, everybody does his minimum, very little rice in the bowl. Those who are faint-hearted, well, there's the exit for you. It will always be an open country. You can move in, you can move out. There is no other way in which we can live. What made the difference in Singapore was that a group of men in 1963, 64, 65, when we were in Malaysia, we decided that we are going to live only one life. If we have to die, we will die for a cause. That made Singapore possible. We couldn't be placated and settle for less. To settle personally for a way out for yourself was easy. I believe we've got a group of men similarly determined. I'm not sure whether in a crisis they got the same tempered steel, but I think quite a few will measure up. The question is to get more. If you believe you're going to get good government, whatever you do, then you're going to risk it all away. You vote in jokers, cranks, weak men, charlatans with some gift of the gab, you run a very serious risk of losing everything you have. So the final message I give to Singaporeans is, your future really depends on what you make of it. The government can give you that framework, can give expression to the will of a people, but the people must have that will. If you don't have it, there's nothing a government can do.
We have come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Making video is time-consuming and hard work. Kindly click the subscribe button and click the like button so as to encourage us to make the videos you like. Thank you and have a good day.